What is going on, Dominator? David Dominator here, back with round 3 of the NHL playoffs. Now, we've done this in different formatting before, and by the way, I am streaming on Twitch, and I do think you guys should go check out one guy in particular when it comes to hockey videos. That hockey guy, I just watched a video about him talking about the Vegas and Dallas series. He wants Dallas to win, but he thinks Vegas is going to win. And there's some interesting things that I'll probably say in this video that he said in his. So I'm going to go into it. But this is one thing I like. The last time these teams have won a cup, Carolina hasn't won it since 2006. So basically, they're the only team since I've been born out of these 4 teams to win a championship. In 1999, Dallas won it. Florida and Vegas have never won the Stanley Cup. Vegas obviously being 6 years old in this league. Florida, they've been in the league for a little bit, so I can't say which they really are. But this is a good East and West battle. I think you have 4 teams that are great. And honestly, I think Florida is having a similar run to maybe a lot of people. I don't think I've seen people say it, but maybe I would compare to the Blues, where no one expected them to come into this. No one expected them to be in this situation, and they are. Now, I think they're going to be going against a very good defensive team, and I think that the Hurricanes have found ways to win. They've found ways to score with their big scorers being out of action, and I think that it would be super interesting to see what would happen if Carolina wins it. If Carolina wins this game, I think either way, the West is going to take it this year because both of these teams are just so good in the West. I do think that the West takes it, but I'll see when we get to the finals. But because I do kind of, like I said, I'm making this like a sports YouTube channel. I'm trying to. And I want to keep talking about stuff like this. And I might throw in some NBA things now and there, but I might only do that for the finals because I'm not a big basketball guy. But for some reason, I want to say Carolina wins this series in 4. But Florida is such a nitty-gritty team. They were almost eliminated by Boston. Then they beat Boston. Then they destroyed the Leafs. I think that they're a great team, and I think that this is a team that will scratch and claw everything they have. I don't know if this series goes to 7. I think it at least goes to 6. I can't see Florida losing 4 I can't see them. I can see them winning 2 in a row and then losing 4, or even losing 2, winning 2, and then seeing what happens. But I think this series ends in 6. I will say Carolina takes it. I think Carolina just is the better team defensively, and all they need to do is beat Bobrovsky and keep the defense. Now, Florida is fast-paced sometimes, so they could literally, if they could do what Vegas has done to them during the season, then you can break through that defense and score. You have to make those opportunities last, though. Now to Dallas and Vegas, a rematch from the 2020 bubble. Not the only one that's happened. Obviously, in the NBA, we have the Lakers and basically, I think all 4 teams. I think they said were in the bubble. I remember the Heat. Lakers, and Denver was. But this is going to be an interesting one. Here are some storylines going into it. Vegas has a new coach in Bruce Cassidy. They fired Pete DeBoer, who is now the coach of Dallas, who is undefeated in Game 7s. But a fact people are not mentioning, Pete DeBoer has lost didn't go to the Stanley Cup Finals or Stanley Cup playoffs last year. In 2021, he went to the Western Conference with Vegas, lost to Montreal. Went against Dallas, lost. The year after that, he was with the Sharks, and he lost in that. I'm pretty sure he was with the Sharks. So he hasn't had a good streak when it comes to losing. So um, in the Stanley in this situation. Now, when I just watched this video, like I said, the power play and power kill favors Dallas, but we can't forget that the Golden Knights just came off of beating the best power play and probably the best power kill, but definitely the best power play in history. Power kill was okay, and our power play isn't great to begin with. This is interesting to me too. Oettinger has been hot and cold, but Hill has technically a better save percentage, and he was going against a very offensive team, which Dallas is similar. I think Dallas smoked Vegas 4-1 last time, and I think that Vegas is obviously going to come in differently. I think that Vegas, the thing that a lot of people, and what makes me feel like Dallas will win this series, is because they didn't beat Vegas, or Vegas didn't beat them in the beginning in the regular season. Two of the 3 games went to overtime or shootouts. Obviously, we won't have that here. We won't have shootouts. I think both of them were shootout losses, besides the 4-0 loss. So we don't have shootouts in the Stanley Cup Finals. So that's something that's going to be very interesting to see. Vegas has only gone to overtime once this playoffs, and they won that game. So that's going to be a story too, going into if one of these teams go to overtime. I thing is, I don't want to say Vegas because I just don't want to just be favoriting the team. I do think this game is going to go to 6. It won't go to 7. I don't think it goes to 7 games. Something to think about, too, is that Vegas has only lost 3 games. Dallas has only lost 5. So both of them really haven't played, or they haven't lost a lot of games. So, I mean, Vegas, every time they've lost a game, they've come back and won the game right after. And Vegas is pretty much sent it home. Now, let's hope they don't continue the trend where in the first series they lost 1, 4 straight. Then Vegas 1 loss, 1 loss, 1-1. So let's hope that Vegas doesn't try to get to Game 7 in this. I think if the Knights, here's my thing. I think if the Knights move on, because here's the thing. I'm just gonna try to spit it out. If Vegas goes and plays Carolina, that's a great series, but I do think Vegas wins it. I think that it's going to be a crazy series, but I think Vegas wins it. I do think Dallas and Carolina would be probably a very similar series. Both of them have similar strengths and weaknesses. Obviously, out of all 4 teams, I think the weakest goalie is probably Vegas, with Adin Hill, even though he has the better save percentage than Oettinger, because Ottinger's been hot and cold. And I just said this on my live stream. I do feel like if Vegas can take advantage of his inconsistencies, they're going to win games just by doing that. And with the games that he's doing excellent, if they could squeak out 1 win, it could be over. That could be the end of the series. So the Hurricane, I mean, they have great goaltending. They have 3 great goalies. Kind of, I think, similar to Vegas. They have good goalie depth. I mean, Vegas also, they have Jonathan Quick in the background if they need it. Thompson looks like he is slowly coming back. So Vegas will have some depth if they need it. But I don't think you can't, at this point in time, you can't go to the back burner. You can't be changing your goalies. You have to have faith in who you got. So once again, I'm not going to say a clear favorite here because it is Vegas, and every single time I have not said that. Obviously Vegas is my team. I don't want to be biased, so I'm just going to say that both of these are going to be tough series. I do think both of them will end around the same time. I think I will give them both to Game 6. If I had to say which game goes to 7, honestly, both games do have the capability to go into 7. If I had to say what series is more likely to get swept, it's the East Final. Who's the most likely to go win 1 game and lose? I think it's the East again. But that's pretty much it. I think 6 and 7 will definitely be the range for both of these teams. So the East starts on Thursday, the West starts on Friday. I think that first game is going to be big for both teams. I think if Vegas wins game 1, that's huge. Obviously, I think it's the same as them beating Edmonton. And Florida needs that first win too. I think if Florida can go into the Hurricanes, get that first game, that's going to tell this series really, really quickly. So, what do you guys think? Who do you guys think are going to win the Cup in the finals? Or let me know your prediction for the finals. Obviously, I'll do a cup one, and then we'll talk about who the Cup winner will be. Who's the team you want to win? Do you have a team that you want to win? But you have another one because you don't think they will? Let me know. Like this video, comment, expand the brand. That's going to be it for me. Dominate the world. David Dominator's out. Peace.